I'm joined by George Ramsbottom, a Teagasc dairy specialist who's just presented a paper on optimising milk production through fertility. George, what were the key points in your presentation?
Three key points in the presentation today, Philip. The first one concerned our base cow, and basically what I'm saying is that the base cow, the cow used against which we measure all our indices for fertility and milk production and all the rest of them, it's quite a milky cow, but she's compromised in terms of fertility. Her fertility levels are poor. Her base fertility is a 387-day calving interval, and 17% of them are lost each year. So the fertility is poor. Milk production means it can produce ample quantities of milk, about 430 kilos of milk solid. Second point then, Philip, had to do with the interactions that are taking place at farm level. Because we're grass-based seasonal milk producers, we tend to try and compactly calve cows in the spring. And what that means is that we tend to dry off, when grass goes, we tend to dry cows off. And this is having an impact on the number of days the cows spend in milk, particularly late calvers. Early calvers, no problem, but the late calvers are dried off more abruptly. In a study of 1,800 cows that I looked at there for this presentation, some of the late calving cows, calving in April and May, only spent about 200 days in milk. And we know that every day a cow calves later is a day less spent in milk production, and that's costing about 1.5 kilos of milk solid per cow per day.
And what can farmers do about that?
Well, the third point then had to do with what farmers can do, and it's about breeding higher fertility sub-index cows. And the data we looked at showed that cows with high fertility sub-index have shorter calving intervals. Shorter calving intervals are good on farms that are seasonally grass-based production, or seasonal grass-based production systems have been operated. So to achieve a high fertility sub-index herd around 125 would be the target. It'll take about 7 years to get there, starting from around 80 in the sub-index at the moment, and those herds should be able to calve within 365 days.
So EBI is working. What targets should farmers set for the fertility sub-index?
As I said, about 125 fertility sub-index is where they need to be. It'll take them about 7 years to get there, where fertility is around 80. It'll take another couple of years where fertility is around maybe 40 or 50 euro in the herd at the moment, and they need to use bulls of AI bulls, high EBI bulls with fertility sub-index around 160 or 70 to achieve this.
Okay, and would crossbreeding play a part in that, or would that change the variations?
Yeah, that came up in the conference here today, and we believe that where there's herd is first cross, the fertility sub-index of around 95 or so should be able to achieve the same calving interval figure of around 365 days.
Okay, George, thanks very much.